What
What
up?
up, buddy? How are you?
Hold on, I gotta do my little fat man dance real quick. Shaking the titties, shaking the titties. Oh, here we go. All right. What's going on, man? Did you have a good weekend?
What did I do this weekend? I did have a good weekend, actually. I had some beers and a cigar. I did a little bit of homework, but I actually got to relax. I got the final coming up, so it was a good little relaxing weekend. How about you?
Same, man. It was relaxing as fuck, bro. It was good. It was actually nice out, not like the shit weather. But all right, everyone, thank you for joining the Liberty Risk podcast. I'm Billy.
And I'm Hugh, and I hope Nancy Pelosi gets hit by a fucking bus. That's not a politics thing either. I think she's a fucking dinosaur, and I think the time she gets fucking rickrolled by her bus right down the fucking road.
Oh shit!
I think she might be the worst fucking thing that's ever happened to planet Earth, and I'm chalking that up there with like cancer, the Black Plague, the Huns, anything Roman or Italian.
Your brother's gonna die.
You're just mad because you know you can do it. And he called you out for
it. You know what the best part is? They will fucking make a Goonies 2 because I can do it so fucking good. That's what's going to happen.
We'll do it on the July 4th episode, right? That'll be your gift to America.
Goonies 2, the true degenerate version. That's what it's going to call.
It'll just be a re-release of the first version, but they didn't cut any of that.
And all it is just every 5 minutes, I'm just fucking jumping in the screen, doing the truffle shuffle, then fucking leaving. That's all it is. Just fucking, just uncontrollable fat movement. You know what's funny? I feel like if I start doing it, then it's just gonna take over, and I'm gonna be stuck. Like
it'll be one of those things. Once you start doing the truffle shuffle, you can't.
It's just kinetic motion after that. I'm like, someone stop me!
You're just
someone stop me!
Fuck it, I'm in it now. I don't know how he does it.
The greatest thing ever.
What was that? 2.5 minutes? That's got to be some sort of record.
I know.
You'll be typecast as the fat guy who can do the truffle shuffle.
That's exactly a fun. Whatever. I'll make that Hollywood money.
But then you can be like that fat dude from Friday Night Lights. No, Friday Night Lights.
As long as Harvey Weinstein doesn't fucking pick
me up, as long as he's out there. Is it Friday Night Lights? Hold on.
All right, so dude, we got a guest. We got a guest today, dude.
It's not Friday Night Lights. I don't remember what the name of the movie is. Hold on, before we get to the guest, what the fuck is the name of that movie with the fat linebacker and the guy from Hawaii Five-0, Scott Conn when he was younger, and Paul Walker is in Football Town.
Varsity Blues.
Varsity Blues. That's what you'll be like. You'll be like the fucking Varsity Blues do, where you lose a bunch of weight and get fucking jacked. But honestly,
what was his name? Billy Ray? Was it Billy Ray?
Billy Ray something or other. Yeah, Billy Bob.
Holy fuck! See, all I need is the Bob at the end. I'm putting that up there.
Your middle name's not like
Billy
Robert
Bob
or anything, is it?
No.
Troy, it's not one of the Titans. It was Varsity Blues. Man, that had some good fucking lines, man. Scott Conn, like, yeah,
that's a tan, fucking tan.
Hey man, what is up with Carrie Ann Baker? She looked like she fell into the I would have sucked your dick tree and had every branch on the way down.
I still got wood.
Hey man, what the fuck is that? That was the most veteran line in the movie too. I feel like a lot of movies have like one part where you're like, that's pretty veteran. And the part where Scott Conn looks at his pants, he's like, what the fuck is that? That's pretty Southeast Asian deployment.
No, there's two of them. There's another very veteran friendly line is when he gets in the police car and he fucking drives off. He goes, "Man, I'm going to fucking jail."
That's the guy whose stickers on the back of his car, the rank ones go E4, E5, E6, E4, E5, E4, E5, E6.
Yes, that's right. He retires as an E8 with fucking 9 service stripes, all red.
Yeah, all red. What did you do to be red?
But
I did what I thought was best.
Then he's that salty E8 when you go up to him and go, "Senior Chief, why are your stripes red?" You shut the fuck up and don't ask me fucking questions.
Yeah, right? And then you start laughing like, what the fuck are you laughing at? I've been paying you child support for 18 fucking years.
Yes. All right, so you want to do the meme of the day now, or do you want to bring the guest in first?
Let's do the meme of the day real quick, and then we'll go into our guest because
okay. Well, we have 4 of them, right?
Yeah. Let's start with the Army birthday. The Army birthday just came around.
Oh God, dude, I can't do this.
You can do it. You can. I believe in you.
Okay, here we go.
Happy birthday, Army. This is what you get. It thinks it's good looking too.
God, is that?
It thinks it's people.
It thinks it's people. It thinks it's people.
Oh man! All right, let's go on to the next one.
Can we stop and get some food? No, you have food at the DFAC. Peanut butter and crack sandwich.
Every time I went to the DFAC in Al Asad, it was just like those pre-wrapped PB&J sandwiches and like a shitty apple. And we worked at night because it was so hot during the day. Oh
yeah, the same thing they hand out at the homeless shelters.
It was fucking miserable.
It's the same thing they hand out at a homeless shelter.
I was depressed at work, and I like my work, and then I was depressed eating. I was like,
best hashtag ever. Don't put your dick in that.
Oh, I'm sure somebody's tried too.
Oh, I have no doubt in my mind.
All right, let's move on to number 3.
And no, don't fuck the Army.
Don't fuck the Army. That's how you end up with the Coast Guard.
When you get tapped for COVID restrictions are lifted and all you did was slam 30 racks of Busch lattes on the tail. It's so good. That's my favorite one.
The whole Busch latte thing, I really think the Keith Stone was a really good one, but Busch latte is even better.
It's so horrible.
The guys Busch.
You can suck the poison out of a snake bite. Myth. Fact. Your mom can suck a golf ball through a garden hose.
I also heard on a good day she can suck start a Harley.
Oh, suck the chrome off a bumper.
That's right. That's right.
Suck the chrome off a bumper. Dirty, dirty women.
Dirty. Bunch of Wookiees, the Army. Happy birthday. All right.
Oh, fucking crying. I'm legit crying.
Bring in today's guest because we're going to capitalize on the Army's birthday. Ladies and gentlemen, Luke Sanford and I met at the gym. There he is doing a couple office pops. Luke and I met at the gym.
Woo! Hold on, let me turn my music down. Sorry.
I think this is the first time that I've ever been fucked positively by a Marine when I met Luke. I was over in the gym and I had Guinness, my service dog, and Luke comes in with his miniature horse, Abe, and I could see he was so excited. There was another veteran with the service dog, and I was just trying to work out, and I didn't know he was a veteran. All I saw was some tall, weird dude staring at me, and I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna have to talk to this motherfucker. And then I heard him like put down a weight and be like, fuck. And I was, oh, what's up, girl? What's going on, man? Huh? What's up? We crushed it up and put it in the beer.
I was gonna say it was like that scene in Titanic where Jack and I forget the girl's name, near, far, wherever you are. I got with the service dog.
Probably one of the best phrases I've ever had in my life.
I'm so fucking done. I can't do it. I'm fucking done.
So Luke is a United States Marine Corps veteran. He is an Old Dominion University student for the Student Veterans Association. He is our public outreach officer, and he's also a recipient of the Purple Heart. And his favorite crayon color is burgundy, as I understand it.
Yes.
It tastes better than the rest.
It's the closest to the color of blood.
A little bit of garlic butter on it.
Color of blood.
Color of blood. Once the sunlight hits it, I got you. I'll buy that for $1. So, Luke, man, how you doing? How's your summer going?
Man, it's going good. I tell you, I love online classes because it's so easy to cheat. Even I tell you, talk about saving time.
Didn't you just get into a really big program at Old Dominion too? Like a program you probably shouldn't be cheating in.
Right? No, and I signed the honor. The honor system.
I remember putting a mark on it. I don't know. If
I remember signing. I will honorably cheat on these tests. You have my word. I will honorably cheat on these tests.
What program did you get into again?
I'm just kidding. I don't cheat on tests. Nuclear medicine technology.
Nuclear medicine. So Billy, I remember Luke got his letter and he was in the student veterans lounge and everybody was congratulating him and whatnot. And I was asking him about like the other participants. And he's like, yeah, there's 100 people in the class and only 10 of us got it. And he's like, yeah, man, there was this one woman. She's like,
I was totally joking. I don't cheat on the test.
Yeah, right.
Wow, you retracted that whole statement so fast. I was just kidding. I don't cheat. It was just a joke.
Jesus.
We're on a podcast and it's supposed to be funny. Like it's just all fucking
You
lie.
came like a French noodle, Luke. Jesus Christ.
He's
like
sunk.
he wrote-
Look at this shit. He sunk back into these like.
It's like you wrote in on one of those French trains that has 14 gears and 13 of them are in reverse. So Luke is telling me he one of the women is a nurse full time and she's got kids and he was like, oh my God, I can't believe she didn't get in. And I was like, oh, she didn't get in. He's like, no. I'm like, wow, you piece of shit. You took food out of that woman's kid's mouth. Like you are a blown up Marine with a service dog. They probably gave it to you as a credit for like quota's sake. And they didn't give it to her. Like, how do you feel? And he's like, I hadn't thought about it like that. And I thought for a minute I thought that was it. I thought I just killed another veteran right there.
And then I thought to myself and I said, freedom.
You're like, fuck it, should have done better. Take less shifts at the hospital. Should have studied more. Sorry, Consuela.
Sorry.
Billy, we can't hear you, buddy. Your microphone's off.
Oh, sorry. My daughter came out real quick. I was talking to her real quick. I'm trying to get her to.
Okay. If you're not first, you're last.
That's right.
That's right. That's good.
That's right. Good. Yeah, man. So have you started your nuclear medicine study?
Go away now.
We don't need you anymore.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I brought you into this world. I can take you out. Get out of my room.
Yeah.
See?
Like what I said.
He gets it.
Well, you didn't hear what I said to her earlier, Hugh. I was joking. Luke heard it. She was helping adjust the camera. I said, "Okay, all right, you're done. Go back to your room." And she was messing around. I was like, "Get in there. I'll break your legs backwards." And she just started laughing.
That's just good parenting. If you just pass out participation trophies and love, you end up with an occupied zone like Seattle.
The best part is my daughter just looks at me like, "Yeah," and then you'll go to jail, and I still won. Like, oh shit. Like,
that's a problem for raising smart kids.
Yeah, I know, right? Damn it!
Well,
Damn it.
Correct parenting. Beat your kids. I don't know who said that.
So, Luke, are you taking classes this summer, man?
Yes, I am, and I am legitimately studying. Because I'm such a motard, and I'm motivated. Yeah. And I'm studying my ass off. So
yeah,
I bought into the Kool-Aid of, oh, you're a Marine, you can do anything you put your mind to, and I was like, oh, I'm going to pick a challenge. I'm going to do nuclear medicine technology, and now I'm legitimately.
Now you're a fucking nerd. Can't do any pull-ups anymore, huh?
Yeah. No, I tell you, I don't know. I think I was either drunk or high when I made that decision. I still haven't quit yet, though, so that's got to say something, right? I'm just too dumb to quit.
Oh, Rick, this is just the one for display. Don't worry, buddy. I got the full one downstairs.
Rick, mine's not empty.
Atta girl. Spirit of the quitters.
We walked out of Makers with fucking just jars of beer.
There are 2 more in the fridge downstairs.
So good.
Yeah, and that's what we're drinking tonight is Makers beer.
When I do a desk pop, that means it's time for someone to go get me another one.
You better ask Jessie politely before she whips that iPad off your dome piece.
Oh, she's Italian. She will cut me on camera.
There you go.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So, Luke, Billy and I both have service dogs from a different organization than you got yours from. But you got yours from Muscle Mission, which is right here in Norfolk, correct?
Well, they're out of Portsmouth, but Norfolk,
Excuse me.
Virginia Beach, yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about Mutts of the Mission and how you got linked up with them?
Man, they're awesome. So, when I got out of the Marine Corps, I was still on the roster. I had a Marine Corps traveling nurse, the Wounded Warrior Regiment traveling nurse, and she reached out to me, and she's been trying to press one on me for years. And I was opposed to it. I didn't want the attention as much as most people would not believe that. I really didn't. I didn't want the attention. I was just like, to me, I thought it would make me almost look like
Like the poster boy kind of thing, like a
Yeah, the poster boy, or disabled. Oh, I'm riddled with PTSD, or I can't function, or something like that. And my family had pressed me and pressed me and pressed me about it, and finally, I was sitting there with my traveling nurse, and her and my fiance were talking about it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna buckle, I'm gonna do this, and man, they trained this dog for me, and it's the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm glad I did do it. I think it has definitely changed my life in a positive way for sure, and I think I'm stubborn.
That's awesome.
To go so long without accepting him.
And how long have you had your dog?
I think we're going on a year and some change.
Wow.
A year and some change. Honestly, I don't know. It feels like a year.
Well, I think I met you about this time last year, and I think he was pretty new for you then, wasn't he?
Yeah. So I say a little over a year, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Billy, you've had not Guinness, whiskey for like 6 months?
October. Since October.
So like 8 months or something like that. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So October. Yeah. She's a bum. I swear. It's like 8:15 every night when we're home. Not like when we were at your house just recently. She was
she was
bonkers.
losing it all over the.
She was like, "Oh, another dog!" Yeah, and I'm just like, "Just fucking go!" But no, 8:15 every night. She just walks in her room and just fucking gets in the corner, and she's like, "I don't care what you're doing the rest of the evening. I'm going to fucking sleep." Like
Luke,
she's out.
Luke, did Abe? Did he take a little bit of acclimating to the house, or what? Like, what's
wow.
I think it's the other way around.
He actually just huffed and puffed at that. He looked at me and was like,
"Bruh, fucking you peasant."
You
Did he take to your house pretty well? Did he take to the routine, or was he a little resistant?
Well, so all dogs are amazing, and not to put my dog above any other dog, but my dog is somewhat of a unicorn. He is something just that no one has ever seen before, no one has ever really experienced before. He will do what he's told, and it doesn't matter who it is. He's such a sweet, gentle soul. He just reminds you of like that big old guy in the neighborhood who you don't fuck with, but at the same time you're like, man, I bet he wouldn't hurt a fly though,
Sure. We're definitely gonna have to get a photo too, because Abe is 100% Mastiff, right?
Yeah, he's a purebred English Mastiff, and he just weighed in the other day at 202 pounds.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to we'll get a photo of you and Abe for scale. For for those of you that are watching or listening, we're not talking about I can reach down and pet Guinness while I'm standing there, but I'm 5'6", and I believe you can reach down and pet Abe just barely, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's at like my hip,
Yeah.
But that's why he's so great for what he does, though.
Because how tall are you? 6'1", 6'2"?
6'4". Don't sell me short, thank you.
Oh, my bad. Don't worry.
6'4". Size matters. I don't care what they say. 6'4".
All right. So, all right. So you, Jesse and Abe. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. She's right. We'll have to get a photo of all three of you guys together.
Yeah.
So Luke, you've had Abe for a little over a year, maybe a year and a half. And
your brother, I thought it was a bear.
Oh, he did. No, they walked into the house, and Gavin was like, "Jesus, hell, it's coming right for me." Gavin thought he had to throw a steak at it just to get away.
Feed it; it'll stay happy.
So, Luke, how long were you in military medicine before you decided to go and get a service dog?
So I got out of the Marines in late 2011, early 2012.
Okay.
And I had been dodging a service dog like the plague, all the way up until I think it was 2018.
Yeah, so a pretty decent amount of time.
Yeah, for a good 7 years. Had
people been recommending it to you while you were going through your treatment?
Nonstop. Every time
Really?
every time I'd have a surgery or something done, every time, I'd have to go into a brain injury clinic or something like that. I mean, they were just like, a lot of guys are seeing good results from service dogs. And I was like, well, good for those guys. I don't want it, because I was stubborn.
Sure.
Just look at the nurse like that's how nurses get slapped. Keep it up.
Like, great for them.
Yeah.
You ever been hit in the face with a bedpan? Like,
yeah. Well, I think Billy and I can relate to that because I was resistant at first when I first met Billy. When Billy and I first met Matt, I was my buddy Matt had a service dog, and I was resistant to the idea. I thought, okay, if that might work for him, but I don't really know about me. And then I learned more about Matt, and I was like, well, he's pretty fucked up. So, I mean, like, what's the worst that happens?
Yeah.
But it takes a while to really come around to the idea because being in the military, we're used to traditional medicine.
Yeah.
I'm hurt. I go to the hospital. They give me something for it. End of story.
And it was also a lot of it too was I was so afraid of admitting that I was, that my life could have been better with something other than just what I was accepting from the hospitals.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest hurdle for me too. Was I had all these people like just friends, the same aspect. Like literally like grabbing like you need a dog. You need a service dog. And I think that's the biggest hurdle that we have to overcome as veterans that do have service dogs that genuinely need to have them in your life is that you just got to suck up that pride and realize that, you can't always just can't always conquer everything on your own. It's okay to ask for help or have that help. So I think that's the biggest hurdle that people need to get over because what really bothers me, and we were kind of talking about this in the green room before, is like the vets that have like the who's got the bigger dick contest and I did this, I did that, and then the same aspect that whole everything that's pushed towards us is you'll be fine, just suck it up, you'll be fine, just suck it up. That's why those suicide numbers are so high in the veteran community compared to civilian community is because I think this generation, like this war, we're really truly the first group of veterans that are getting away from that and going, you know what? It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to talk about this stuff. It's okay to go seek help to get better. Mm-hmm. And I don't have to do this shit by myself. So
yeah, I think we're at that point where the bigger dick competition is won when you can be like, hey, I have a problem and I'm going to go get help for it. And not just I'm going to power through and make it as long as I can. I remember for myself, when I moved down to Florida and I started working for this service dog organization, I had met some people, I met some friends, and I was very, very self-conscious about now I would be with these friends and I would have a service dog and I was worried about what they would think of me. Yeah. And now, these people I had been out with plenty of times at this point, now I show up with a service dog. And I remember the first time I came out, I was really skeptical about the whole thing. And I can't say this happens for everybody. I got very lucky that my friends were very welcoming and half of them were veterans. That had all served in and around the same time period as myself. And we're like, hey, man, that's really cool. But, that big dick competition goes away once you can admit that you're like, hey, I got problems and I got to get help. Yeah. Luke, would you mind telling us what was the event that led to you going into military medicine and then eventually into the VA medicine?
Yeah. So the date was it was my deployment to Afghanistan.
Summer 10.
Oh, yeah. So it was 2010 is when I went to Afghanistan. I'm a mortarman by trade, but I never actually really got to do mortars unless it was in training. I think one time I got to shoot an Illume mission when I was in the country. It wasn't Iraq, it was Afghanistan too. But so every time I ever got deployed, I was always a machine gunner. So when people say, "Oh, what'd you do in the Marines?" I never say a mortarman because they'd be like, "Oh, you were a mortarman," blah blah. And I'm like, actually, I never was a mortarman. I was always a machine gunner. So I feel weird claiming, even though on my DD-214 it says, MOS of mortarman, I was actually a machine gunner. So I was a machine gunner in Afghanistan. And we were doing an op where it was like kind of like a, hey, we're just going to flush out the Taliban out of this village. And every day we would kind of like push through the village, clean out a bunch of, compounds and stuff, and then stop in a ditch, sleep. And then the next day we would wake up and keep pushing and flushing out more Taliban, kick in some more doors, find some more IED caches and, this and that.
Cache.
Yeah, cache. And so we had Afghan army soldiers attached to us. We call them A&A.
Bunch of cunts.
Yeah. So I had this A&A guy attached to me, and he was my ammo man. And we had stopped at this ditch. We said, okay, we're going to bed down here for the night. And me and a buddy of mine had paper, rock, scissors to see who was going to go to the back resupply line and get our packs that had our sleeping bags and stuff in it. And he lost. And so I was like, bitch, you're going back to the supply.
Have fun, bitch.
My back hurts. I'm staying here. So I just remember like I took a knee down in this ditch, and I had at the time I was carrying a saw, and I was like, damn, earlier in the day we had I had gotten spent some of my rounds, a few belts of my rounds. I was like, damn, all right, I need some more ammo. So I told the A&A guy, I was like, hey, and I would make the motion for like, hey, bring me belts of ammo, and be like, ammo, like go get it. And so he went to go get it. And as he was coming back, he had called my name. He was just a few feet from me. Well, he had like a nickname for me in Pashto or Farsi or Dari in that Afghani language that they speak. And he was like, hey, Palawan, which just meant big wrestler guy. I mean, I took that name.
Okay, calm down.
What the fuck?
We got a badass over here.
You didn't have to flex. Like, you could have just said big wrestler guy. You didn't have to, like, throw two. Like,
okay. Hey, Palawan, Palawan. And then so as I like went to turn to go get the ammo from him, bam, stepped on a pressure plate IED, kablooey. The rest was history.
Wait, you or him?
He stepped on the pressure plate. I was down in the ditch on a knee, kind of like posting security. Well, I say posting security. I was fucking off, man. I was probably smoking a cigarette. I wasn't doing my job.
He said Palawan. You're like, shut the fuck up, bring me my shit.
I was like, bitch, you better have an MRE or something for me.
And he stepped on that pressure plate.
Yeah, so I went to
tipped over ass.
Went to turn and bam, so it blew both his legs, both his arms off, ripped his jaw to the side of his face. He was peppered in shrapnel.
How far from you?
Maybe 4 or 5 feet tops. He was really close because he was calling my name because he was like, "Hey, here you go, fuckhead!" Like, take.
And he was ready to hand to see. So he's about okay. Yeah. I got you.
Maybe 4 feet tops, if that. But I was really lucky because I was down in the ditch, and it was a decent sized ditch. I mean, I guess the best way to explain it here in America would be like if you're ever driving through the country, and they have like those deep ditches on the side. They call it a wadi, but it was like like a nice deep ditch.
Yeah, so you were very close, but at the same time you were below
the shrapnel line,
the road line, and the shrapnel
below
line.
The blast line. Yeah,
exactly. So it blew me down, and I remember. Well, I don't remember. This is my theory: is that I hit the buttstock of my saw, and I got some beautiful teeth to show for it. Everyone's always like, "You got such a pretty file." I'm like, "Oh, thank that."
And in your head, you're like, "You know what I had to fucking do for this?"
yeah. So I got my jaw dislocated, and I didn't know it at the time. I had a neck injury, and I didn't know it at the time. But I got knocked out. And I remember waking up, and they had the A&A guy next to me. They had another A&A guy, and my buddy Loeffner, who also got blown up because my buddy Loeffner was about an arm's distance from me, and he was also posting security. He wasn't posting security. He was probably jerking off or smoking a cigarette too. But we were supposed to be posting security. Yeah. So it was about 4 of us, and we were getting put on the bird. And yeah, man, I remember being put on the bird, and I think the best part I remember is when I landed in Camp Bastion. There was this nurse, and she just held my head, and she cut off most of my clothes, and then she was like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to cut off the rest of your clothes," and she cut off my pants and boxers, and I hadn't showered in a while, and adrenaline is a funny thing. All the blood doesn't go to your extremities that you need it in when you need it. So she used the 2-finger blood check method to make sure I wasn't bleeding in all the areas. So it was an interesting experience. I was in a brain injury clinic for a while.
So you didn't get any shrapnel?
I took a little bit in my hand. I have a scar on my hand. I was lucky. Just
but you
somehow,
didn't get nothing in the core, nothing in the vital areas.
Yeah, no.
A lot of head trauma.
I had is a
So
big chunk
all
of
it was pretty much you just walked away with a fucked up TBI and some new teeth.
Yeah, and a dislocated jaw.
How long?
Dislocated
How
jaw.
long were you in? You went to Bastion, and then I assume they sent you home to Maryland.
No, so I went to Bastion, and then they switched me over to Wounded Warriors, and I was in Wounded Warriors maybe 2 or 3 months, and me and the other guy who got hit, you know, we were really young Marines at the time, and we fed into the whole cult, drink the Kool-Aid, like take ibuprofen, change your socks,
Sure.
and we were our own biggest critics. All we could think about was the other guys and how much trash they would talk if we went home.
Sure.
Like we could have lost a leg, and it would have been like, no, dude, we got to get back out there because the other guys.
Scrap a 2x4 on the bottom, and let's get back to work.
That was the Marine mentality, man. And so we lied our asses off to these doctors, and we did what we had to do, and they sent us back out. Like I was like,
get the fuck out.
Yeah, we said what we had to say, and I thought it was the most honorable thing. I was like, yes, I'm finishing my deployment. I'm a real badass. I didn't realize I'd pay for it the rest of my life.
Sure.
I should have.
So hold on. So you went to the Wounded Warrior thing, and then went back to your unit.
3 months later, I went back out, and they handed me a 240 and said, "Hey, you got post. Yeah, you're going on patrol." And so I finished my deployment with.
How much longer were you on deployment after you went back out?
Not too much longer. I would say I had another 2.5 months, maybe tops.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And thank you. Exactly.
Yeah, that's a Warzone Case Marine. Give him a round of applause.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, so I finished out, and that's like my bragging rights to this day is, hey, I had a 240 slung around my neck. I finished out my deployment with a fucking herniated disc in my neck, pressing into my spinal cord, carrying a 240 on foot patrol the rest of my deployment, man.
So you got out of your deployment in 2011.
Yeah.
And then how much long did you get out of the Marines after a certain amount of time, or when you got home, you're like, I have to go to medical?
Yeah, well, so I had less than 30 days left on my contract when I got back from my deployment.
Okay.
So that's where I got even more screwed because they were like, man, we have 30 days to get you out of the military, and 14 of those days.
You're supposed to have like a year to like transition and do your resume and go to medical, and they're like, you have 30 days.
You have 30 days, and 14 of those days you need to take leave because we just got back from a deployment. So you have a shit ton of leave. So when I came back, I probably had a month. You know, I probably had 1 month, and I remember I just played that fun game of like, hey, go find this dragon who's in this dungeon and get him to sign this piece of paper and do like some magical spell and say you're allowed to leave the Marine Corps.
Yeah. Wow. Sign here, please, wizard.
Yeah,
it would be great if you could sign all these lines.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It was awesome, man. And that's know, no one really checked me over. You know, I should have had some X-rays. I should have had some MRIs.
But how old were you when you were getting out?
Man, I couldn't have been more than 23, maybe.
Yeah.
23.
So it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
You would have said what you thought you needed to say.
Exactly.
Which is a problem that we all have. I mean, I'm 31 now, and it wasn't until my third deployment I think I was 28 until I was like, yo, I'm not ready to go home. I'm pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
I got some shit I need to work on. And so how long between when you got out and did you get into the VA?
I would say less than 2 or 3 months later, they were putting prosthetics into my neck and spine.
Oh, shit.
It's instantaneous. It's instantaneous.
Well, no, the reason I ask is because, you know, if you got out in 2011, 2012, that's 8.5 years ago. You know, it took you 7 years to come around to get in the service dog. There could have been, you know, I want our viewers to know that there's a possibility you said, I'm not getting into the VA for a year or 2 years or what have you. But so you got out of the Marine Corps and immediately got enrolled in VA medicine.
I'll never forget. I turned in all my paperwork at the VA, and they set me up. And it wasn't too far. I think I was lucky. And like 30 days later, I had been set up with an appointment, just as like your regular, like, hey, welcome to the VA. Let's just do a check over. And the guy was like, it says here you've taken an IED blast while you were on deployment. I said, yeah. He said, did they do a CAT scan? Did they do an MRI or anything? And I was like,
Where the fuck are they going to do a CAT scan at?
Yeah, no, it was Afghanistan, broski. It was like a quad-com.
They said, "Oh, look, he still has his arms and legs. Send him back out."
Yeah,
like,
they threw me a thing of foot powder and a new pair of socks and said, "Get back at it."
Yeah.
Here's some fresh skivvies, you fuck. Like,
and the VA doctor was just like, they didn't. You haven't been evaluated, and I was like, and like, what do you mean by like evaluated? And he was like, all right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do an MRI and we're gonna do a CAT scan, and then we'll, you're gonna have another follow-up appointment. And so I went and had that done, and I came back to him, and he was like, whoa, I'm putting you in to go see neurology like 6 days.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit that I shouldn't be seeing here.
Yeah, like you need to take it easy. Like you're pressing into your spinal cord really bad. And I told him, I was like, man, I'm starting like my hands are numb. Like they've been numb for a while now. And he was like, whoa, like that's not good. Yeah, yeah.
Like,
so next
heads
thing
up, guy, you should not be having that.
Yeah, yeah, man. It wasn't too long after that they were giving me like a whole terminal.
That's so crazy because you got home and and obviously you weren't re-enlisting. And your unit clearly knew that. And instead of being like, hey, maybe you should go get evaluated because we know you spent time at Wounded Warrior, they just said, oh, well, you're short time in it, so.
And it's funny you say that because here's my biggest laugh that I have is that no one from BAS wanted to take the time to like evaluate me before getting out, but it was a requirement for me to go see the re-enlistment recruiter guy, and he was like, it says here you were injured while you were on deployment. And I said, yeah. He said, have you been checked out for all that? And I said, no, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, all right, well, go get that checked out and then let me know. But until now, I'm going to put you as a no re-enlistment. Or do you want to re-enlist? And I was like, yo, if you can give me a spot still in the grunts, I'm down. And he was like, well, go get that figured out and then come back and talk to me. And then I was like, yeah, never mind. I'm good.
Yeah, you're like, no, I'm all right. It sounds all well and good, but you don't have enough money. You don't have enough money.
Yeah. So I almost would have got suckered to going back and doing another 4 years in the infantry. Man, thank God I didn't.
You would have tried to do 4 years in the infantry. You would have been on a run one day. Something would have slipped out. You would have spent 2.5 years in Wounded Warrior Battalion.
Or who knows? Because it was in my C-spine. I could have been a quadriplegic.
Oh, yeah. You could have just fallen one day during a climb and just been fucking Dunsky.
Who's that guy, Stephen Hawkins, where he rides around in the wheelchair?
Well, I think he's dead now, but he did used to do that.
Yeah, he's very dead.
Yeah, way to talk about the dead.
My name is Stephen Hawkins, and I am a really smart guy.
I've always wanted one of those chairs where you just blow into a tube and it does like 360s and burn.
Oh, I think you have to like blow like really hard though, like more effort than I think you're willing to put into it.
Yeah,
is that why Superman failed at it?
Wow.
That's good. Re-enlistment bonus.
The laugh. That was a genuine deep gut. Like you're an idiot for saying that laugh.
Man, I remember my deployment 2012, 2013. The re-enlistment bonuses came out, and they were like, "Oh, you have to meet this requirement." And like me and 13 people, we were like, "Oh shit, we meet them all." So we all put in our paperwork. We go to turn them in, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, you all will have had to went to boot camp between this day and this day." We're like, "That's a 20-day window."
Yeah.
In like 2006.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, I'll re-enlist when I get home. I'm good. Nah, I don't want to deal with that shit now. Yeah.
Nah, the fuck out of here. I'm good.
Yeah.
The best part is when
the drill instructor voice.
When I was in Mayport, I was on shore duty, right? And I was up for my re-enlistment. I was a master at arms, military police. So my career counselor comes up to me, and I was actually headed out to go to mobile security over to NECC division group 2, where they wound up. This was the units that switched into what's now Rivron.
Right.
So I was getting ready to go to my first, boots on the ground, command as an MA, which was all new to the Navy. So I was psyched about it. They were bringing back the old Vietnam brown water Navy and all that stuff. So I was hyped up. So my career counselor comes up to me. He's like, yeah, he goes, you check all these boxes for a re-enlistment bonus. So I was like, well, how much? They're like 45,000. And I was just like, yes. Yes.
Hard yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Lump
He's like,
sum, right? Lump sum.
He's like, well, you got to do 6 years. I was like, what? Wait, what? How? So I don't get that all at once.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Like 45 grand over 6 years. That's some horse shit. That's how they get you. That's how they get
I
you.
already had 8 years in at that point, so I was just like, I was on the fence. It's just right when the economy was just shit.
So,
Yeah.
And for me to get
That's
out,
where I joined too.
yeah, it was 2000. It was 2008. The economy was just trash. So I actually wound up calling my pops up, and I was like, "Hey, what do I do?" Blah, blah. He's like, "You signed that fucking paperwork." He goes, "Don't." He goes, "It is a shit show out here right now." He goes, "You need to sign that."
Yeah, right.
So I wound up signing for the 6 and getting that 22. Was it 22 and a half up front?
There you
Yeah,
go.
you
For-
think about it, that was less than $10,000 extra a year. Less than
Yeah.
$10,000 extra a year.
But that
And
seemed
you
like
were
a
probably
lot. because-
already, even at whatever rank. I don't care if you were a fucking E6, E7. That's still, in the grand scheme of things, that's shit money for such a, you're away from your family.
Just
You're in
a
another
lengthy commitment.
country. You're just, you're
But
selling your soul.
if you thought of the way I was thinking about it at the time was I was at E5, our rate was locked up. There was literally like 0% advancement to E6 for like 2 years because they flooded the Navy with so many. The Navy went from in pre 9/11 to 3,100 MAs, and then 10 years later had 30,000 MAs
Jesus.
in the Navy because
Shit.
everyone was just they were just cross converting.
It's
Over.
funny you say that, Billy, because for one, the CBs,
No, it was just a little fucking techies like you, Gavin, you piece of shit.
the CBs ebb and flow with the tides of war. Like we've always been high when there's conflict and then low when we're stable. But I remember a couple of years into my career, they're like, "Hey, do you want to go green to blue?" And I was like, "Well, what is that?" And they're like, "Oh, we're recruiting a shit ton of MAs." So it was a program. If you were a CB, you could cross rate from CBs to MA because you already had weapons training and security training and whatnot. And I remember a bunch of people from my unit left the CBs to go be MAs, and I'm like, guys, it's 2011. Like Obama's on his like fucking rampage right now. Why would you do that? But
Yeah,
yeah,
but it was
obviously not Chris.
at that time I was at E5, and
Do you have any kids yet?
No, I was single.
Yeah,
I didn't
so
have a care-
45
care in the
grand
world.
is a lot of money over 6 years.
Ooh.
Yeah, absolutely.
When
And
you're
it was,
25, single and no kids, 45 grand could literally
Change your life.
It could put you in the grave. I mean,
well, from
you're
where
making a lot of strip clubs really happy.
this is true. So
hold on, Luke. Where were you at?
Where was I at? What do you mean?
As a Marine, were you 29 Palms? Were you Lejeune? If
I
Buddy
was-
Parker was a rate.
Lejeune all day. So honestly, driftwood,
Okay, Gavin.
togies, and cherries would have just taken all my money.
So he would have
They'd
made
have got that whole bonus.
he would have made the trip down to Jacksonville to the Gold Club on a long weekend.
I would have had my own personal stage
Ew,
in a VIP room.
that place is such a shithole. Don't
Gold
ever.
Club, yeah. No, what's the name, Billy? I know you know it. What's the name of that strip club right outside Mayport?
Which one? There's 2 of them.
How do you know that?
Well, this actually, yeah, I was stationed there. So actually, the one.
Wife?
No, it was my third wife.
you
right there. Yeah. So I have a fucked up story. Okay, so I honestly forget the names of them, but
know, right?
the one when you left the main gate, you got to your first light. Mayport's weird. You could actually, the way they show the property line is the color of the pavement changes. So it goes from like the regular pavement to like that Florida terracotta reddish tinted clay pavement.
Yeah.
So once you get to the light outside the main gate, you make a left, and there's just literally, it looks like an old, like, fucking smoke shack from Jamaica, like in like a shitty, like, ghetto part of like Jamaican Islands. That's what the strip club looked like. Like there's pregnant strippers out front smoking. Like it's like that type of dirty, right? And it's owned by the outlaw biker gang. So it was always
Really? The Officers Club. That's the one I'm thinking of.
so gross.
It's called
so
the Officers
gross.
Club. Yeah.
So gross. So this strip club we had, I was at E4 at the time, so I'm standing main gate. I'm on third shift. It's like 2:30 in the morning. We're just standing out there like this. Like there's like one car maybe every hour and a half that comes up to the gate at this point. And this fucking kid is walking down the sidewalk crying like a grown man. He's active duty. And when I say crying, I mean fucking crying like someone murdered his entire family. And then like wiped out his ancestry and lineage from like existence type of crying, like bawling his eyes out. So we go up to him. We're like, dude, what's wrong? He's like, I need to get back to my command. I can't believe it. This just happened. We're like, and we're getting concerned. We're like, what the fuck? Like, what happened? He's like, they told me it'd be okay to go down on her. So I just did it right there in the strip club. This dude went down on a stripper in the strip club in front of everyone. Yes. I can't. I wish I was making this up.
That's fantastic.
Literally, my buddy that was standing watch with me was a DOD police officer. He ran over to the bushes and threw up in the bushes right there. Literally, I wish there was one exaggeration of this story. Literally, it was like, oh God, like it just ran.
That's
oh my God,
great.
That's hilarious.
Now, to go back to why I re-enlisted, growing up where I was, growing up.
Oh, sorry.
In New York City, my whole train of thought was I was going to get out as an MA and then go back home, join the NYPD. Was my thought process.
Silly rabbit.
Yeah, no, not so much. I actually wound up with the bonus. You know how they split it up. You get an installment every year, and then you just pretty much just add it to whatever your last annual pay was, and that's how you can figure out how much you're going to make. I was actually going to wind up making $3,000 more a year than what I could have went into the NYPD. Well, going into the NYPD with experience.
Sure.
Even if I went in with like just 21, went to the academy, it would.
Right.
At that time, to get that bonus, it was 2008. Everything was just shit. So that was just my best option, was to stay in.
But Billy, think about it. You could have been at home in NYPD and got to know the local strippers and saw them on a daily basis instead of being deployed and had to wait to come back from a deployment.
Exactly.
all your money. You
and then I could have told
my monthly allotment.
Yeah, here we go. And you just take this, and I'll see you guys on Monday.
That's fantastic.
And I could also prevent the young police officers from doing what.
guys, do not go to Charlotte. I promise you, it's not worth it.
But Luke, I really wish I was joking, and Hugh will contest to this. There legitimately is pregnant strippers smoking outside these strip clubs. I'm not even. It's not a joke. Like it's
called the Officers Club outside Mayport Base. It's not even a joke. I mean, it's a joke, but it's a real thing.
Like like literally, like if she gets up on the stage and starts pole dancing, she's just gonna drop a baby. Like, they're that far along.
She'll start whipping it around by the umbilical cord.
No, I can imagine.
Try to find its daddy. Yeah.
I can't tell you how I can imagine, but
that a girl.
Gonna lasso him in.
Billy, you drew a couple episode decks, and Luke, we want you to participate in this part of the show with us. What we're doing now is that we're drawing. Excuse me, let me back up a little bit. Luke, we're powered by pod decks, so we're a representative of them, and that's what Billy's got in front of him there. Awesome. And over the weekend, he drew a couple episode decks, and what they do is they give us some ideas for some conversation and whatnot. And yeah, Wackos was the same way, and it's owned by a friend of ours too, and he needs to get his shit together. Yeah, basically. So we have a couple episode decks. We have a couple episode decks, and we're gonna apply these to deployment. And I think it's gonna be real good. Billy, you got the two of them?
I can never be a politician after this. I can already tell.
Oh
yeah, no, absolutely not.
All right, so real quick before
we have an attorney. We have an attorney on speed dial.
Before we do the pod deck thing, Luke, it was so funny. Somebody brought up to me one time. They're like, "Oh man, you should run for politics." I'm like, "Listen, I'm not saying I couldn't run for politics. I just don't think people would like my platform." Yeah. And they're like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "I'd be up there like, Borchers 2020. Yeah, my dick is on somebody's phone, but I'll be upfront about it."
I won't tell a lie.
No, I can't tell a lie.
Yes, that is me, and yes, I did it. But
yeah, right.
I've come a long way.
This girl said your dick is on her phone. Yeah, no shit. I was trying to smash. What's the problem? It's goddamn 2022. Get your shit together.
I could see you like getting like the nomination for like the Republican Party, and he does his first debate with the Democratic representative, and the rep says something stupid, and Hugh just fucking smacks his podium over, kicks the other guy's podium over, and just looks at him and goes, "Fuck you!"
Oh yeah, you're like, "Holy shit, your mother should have swallowed." Christ fucking mighty, you'd have made a great shit stain.
My slogan would have to be, "Hey, at least I'm experienced."
Luke Sanford wanted to kill all babies. But at least I'm experienced.
At least I'm experienced.
Hashtag Marine Corps.
Hashtag me too.
Me too. Oh wow.
All right, Bill. Let's get into these episodes, man. We got two of them tonight. What was the first one was what's
all right? So the
fear, correct?
What is your greatest fear? Your greatest fear.
Is it on to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can think of your first one, go ahead, because I'm gonna need a little second. What's my greatest fear?
My greatest fear is dropping my pack and not picking it back up.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? And that's like a what would you say, a symbology or something? Sure. But most military people get the concept. Is like getting to a point where you're like, man, I'm fucking tired. I'm over it. And you drop your pack and you don't pick it back up. It's okay to drop your pack every once in a while, but as long as you pick it back up, like, and for me, that's like, okay, like not pushing myself to be a better man, not pushing myself to be a better husband, not pushing myself to be a better father, a better person of the community, not pushing myself to continue learning wisdom and education and knowledge and just being a better American, like just kind of giving up and being like, fuck it, I'm tired, it is what it is. Like, it's never acceptable. But that's like my biggest fear is like hitting a point where you're just like, man, I'm fucking tired.
I'll buy that for $1, man. I as a called you out there, bro.
Oh,
I'm with you though, man. It's as a carpenter, with the CBs, I remember my first deployment was particularly rough, and it had no reason to be. But I just remember being out there, being like really, really stressed. And I remember I made a comment, and somebody that I work with went and told my chain of command. They're like, "Hey, I think Borchers might be suicidal."
Wow.
Yeah, and I don't think that I would have. We took like one mortar round like every 3 months, couple bullets here and there. It wasn't like, but it was just out in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like you had to go to finance to get a $200 advance on your paycheck. There wasn't an ATM, there wasn't Eagle Cash. She does. We used to. You get $200 spending cash a month, and that was like the extent of it. And I remember being out there like, fuck, it would really, really suck to just be done and it mean nothing.
Yeah.
For no reason. So I feel you on that one, man. I feel you.
Yeah.
I think for me, my biggest, being a single dad would be burying my kids before they bury me.
Yeah.
Like losing my children. Like that legitimately is. Everything else, just fuck it, whatever. But just everything I've gone through just to be where I'm at with them, Yeah, that's definitely without a doubt my greatest fear. Because I have friends who have lost children. My oldest daughter, two years ago, one of her good friends wound up passing away because her dad, her older sister, and her were in a car, and he got in an accident, and she wound up.
That sucks, man.
Passing away, and he's just a shell of the man that you knew.
Oh,
like he completely blames himself. He lost. It's just, I couldn't.
That survivor's guilt can be almost as bad as anything else. Being like, I don't understand why I'm still here, and I think a lot of us can relate to that. We have friends that didn't come home, and you might have been eight steps away. You could have been equally in their position. Things could have been just slightly different, and that survivor's guilt can be a hell of a mistress for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's really sad to see him go through it, but the only person that's going to get him out of it is him. We can sit there and say, offer all the help in the world and try to push him in the right direction. Sit there and talk to him, but ultimately, he's the only one who's going to be able to get himself out of that.
He's got to dig himself out of it, and he's never going to, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine being in an accident and then looking over and one of my kids is just gone.
Oh yeah.
I can't picture that. And as a parent, unfortunately these things go through your head, like what would happen, as a single parent, like what's going to happen? Like what happens if I go? What's going to happen to the kids?
And it's not even, you don't even have to call it a car accident. A fucking brain aneurysm is a silent killer.
Oh yeah, anything, just anything.
I know a couple people. I know at least 3 people who know somebody who just stopped breathing.
Yeah,
no heart problems, no brain problems, no high cholesterol, no nothing. Just stop breathing and drop dead.
And it's even crazier now with the shit we're dealing with now with all this COVID bullshit.
Hey, you never know what the fuck it's gonna be. It's asinine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. What's the next one, man? Let's get to the next one.
So the next one is, and you could either put this in a military context or
let's do a military context version of this one.
What is your perfect day? And I think this is a very interesting. I think this is a very interesting question for veterans. Like, what is your perfect day? Because I know it's going to vary so much from someone that hasn't served.
Sure. Go ahead, Billy.
My perfect day would just be a day, as funny as this is going to sound, of just complete silence. Just a day to relax. No noise from the outside world. None of the racing thoughts, because my ADD is in overdrive after I've gotten out, and my OCD. So I just think a day where it would just be, I have not really truly had a day.
You're talking about where everything is quiet and you're not on a beach. You're not worried that everything is quiet.
On a beach with unlimited amount of beer. No one else is around. Beer. Just for 24 hours. Just ice cold beer. And that's it.
What about you, Luke? What do you got?
First and foremost, a perfect day for me would be a day without pain. I just want to wake up and feel like I have a complete new set of bones.
You want to feel like you're 8 again? Like you're 8 years old?
I can buy that. Yeah.
I want to take an 8-year-old's cartilage and I want to bottle up and just drink it one morning. Right?
I'm sure that won't get you on any kind of list or anything.
Dude, a day without pain. And I'm with you, Billy. I mean, a day without pain and just sitting on the beach with my fiance and my dog in a cooler full of beer and just phones don't exist. Technology doesn't exist. The rest of the world doesn't exist. I don't feel any pain in my body. And we're just sitting there.
I'll have to agree with you on the pain thing. Because I my kids make fun of me. There's, Daddy, why when you get up, you always make noises?
Yeah.
I'm like,
calm down people who don't know yet.
Yeah.
The shit hurts.
Yeah.
I'm willing myself to get out of the chair. Shut up.
Fuck up. Just give me a moment, all right? These old phones take a little longer.
They don't move the way they used to.
I tell my nephews, though, I'm like, you better watch out. Once I get moving, I'm like a big rig without brakes. So I'll smash into you now.
Nice.
That's awesome. What about you, Hugh? What about you?
I'll tell you what, man. I really liked my last 2 deployments. I really liked where I was. I liked what I did. But on Friday we didn't work because none of the contractors worked. So Friday was our off day. And I really liked in the winter months when it was raining because I could stand out on the porch. We had an overhang with a metal roof, and when the rain would come, the rain hit the metal roof, and I would have a cigar, and I would just sit there. I could get like a good 30 minutes with just the rain sounds and a cigar in my hand, and just kind of relax. And it didn't last very long because the helicopters would spin up, or the Ospreys would spin up, or we'd get a phone call or something. But if I could get like 30 minutes, then it would reset me entirely, regardless of what was going on around me. If I could get a good 30 minutes, I could reset immediately.
I could see that. That. When I did ship deployments, I always, prior to being an MA, when I was an engineer, we would try to, get in the chow line first. That way we can get outside. And I used to love just standing on the, like on the port side or the starboard side of the ship.
Yeah.
We were out in the middle of the Atlantic and just taking that 10 minutes, just get your head right.
Yeah, that's all it is. Luke, you were going to say something?
I was gonna say I have a two-sided coin. I also, because you guys said more military, and I realized my answer was more of like modern day of what a perfect day would be. But if I had to like go back when I was in the Marine Corps, Afghanistan, a perfect day to me would be a day where I would just have like so much ammo, right? And I didn't have to carry it. You know what I mean? Like maybe I was mounted in a vehicle. And just like a firefight all day. Like I miss that adrenaline rush of just like a firefight and just like, man, just like my VC being like, bro, do you. Just do you.
And you're like going to town and like in your head, it's like, why?
Hey, you got positive ID, right? Yeah.
Suddenly
go ahead, brother.
appear.
You got the green light all day long.
You are near. Just going to fucking
near, far, wherever you are, I will hit you with my machine gun because I am a Marine and it's what I do.
Speaking of your machine gun.
So fucking great.
Speaking of your machine gun, to end the show tonight, I have a game just for you, Luke.
Okay.
I put in for everybody watching, disclaimer again, I do not tell Billy what the questions are. I don't tell Billy what the answers are. I don't tell him anything at all. So, Billy, if you wouldn't mind.
Hi, Attorney Sanders. Yeah, we're gonna start the trivia show again. We're gonna need paperwork.
It's gonna be like that, yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Just for you, Luke.
Here
we go. Trivia. All right. Round number 1. Marine pre-combat conversations.
So much went through my head so fast.
So, Luke, because I knew you were coming on tonight, I thought in my head, what are some of the things that Marines might say when doing their pre-combat checks, their pre-combat movement inspections? So starting from number 4, these are the things that I thought of. Are you ready?
Oh God, I'm so excited.
This is Hugh's version of Fucked Up Family Feud.
Hey, bro, does this M60 make me look gay?
He's like sucking the barrel.
Hey man, hey man. Yeah.
So
these are the things that I can think of. A private,
Oh shit.
That is a good one, Kim. I'm a little upset that I didn't think of that one. All right, are we ready? This I could see, Luke. I could see you telling this to the brand new private on the patrol. Are you ready?
Okay.
Hey, Schmuckatelli, how many grenades can you fit in your mouth? I just see it be one of those things,
Oh God,
that's so awesome. That is so perfect.
Are you ready for number 2? Here we go.
Okay.
Number 2, things Marines say before combat checks. Safety first. Nah, just kidding. Coffee first, safety third, or whatever.
Oh shit!
The world's okay. Anybody see my rifle?
Hold on, ready this one. Here's Justin's got a good one. Justin always throws these in here, peppers them in. Hey bro, want to play the jack-off game?
Justin, Kim can see that, man. That's not right. That's not
Oh,
right.
hey, so I do have a story about the coin challenge that we have to tell before the show is over. I'll make
Yes,
it
I
quick.
did, man.
It's worth it.
All right.
All right, are you ready
What's
for
the
the
last
last
one?
one?
Yeah.
What's the last one?
All right, hands down, the most fucked up one of the night. Hands down. You ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Terrorists 1 point, kids 3, camels are 5.
No, camels
What
are
the fuck?
Camels are 6. You're close. The camels are actually 6. Yeah.
Your advisor is watching.
Yeah, and I don't know that I would have gave the kids 3. I would have given them like 2.5.
Because they're always running for your vehicle.
Three if they're on a full out sprint.
The Marines will
If they're on a full out sprint.
If they're on a dead sprint, and you have to put like, if you have to put like a 2-man lead on them, then I would say okay, you get 3 points for that. But if you
catch them, it depends. If you catch them in mid stride when they're like off the ground and they just hit. No.
And I mean, really, the trick was to just throw chocolate out there to give them like a reason to like bend over and stop, so that you like stop the moving target, you know.
And then just split their head open.
Yeah, pink mist.
Luke, you said you had a story real quick.
Oh, so we had this thing. You know how all militaries do? This is how you know you've lost your mind on deployment. You know how military guys, they do like this coin challenge thing, right?
Oh yeah, like my dick
you're
is
at a bar.
bigger than yours.
Okay, so we had a coin challenge thing when we were on deployment because we got bored out of our fucking minds from doing deployments, patrols all day, and you just lose your mind out there with a bunch of fucking Marines and crazy ass dudes. So it all started with a buddy of mine was saying, "Oh bullshit! I bet you couldn't get your dick hard in front of a crowd." Blah blah. And I was like, "Oh, I could get my dick hard in front of a crowd." And then I just remember Marines are instigators, and guy was like, "I got $100 that says so and so could get his dick hard before you could." And he was like, $100? Yeah, show me the money. And the guy whipped out the money and threw it in the middle. Next thing you know, you've got a crowd of Marines around these two guys, and then the guys are making the most fucked up rules possible. They're like, "Okay, there's a lot of money in this pile. You guys are going to go mano a mano and jerk off and look each other in the eye, though. You have to look each other in the eye. And the first one, and you had your skivvy shorts on, first one to get a hard on and prove it underneath your skivvy shorts wins the money."
Sure.
And that's how it all started. The one guy did it and he won. Well, the other guy had kids. He had a wife and kids at home, and he was like devastated. He was like, how am I going to go back to my wife and tell her I lost all this money, you know? So then he was like, all right, best 2 out of 3. And so then it became this it turned into the coin challenge. And the champion would win the coin. And if you were on patrol, he would throw the coin on your rack and be like, I challenge you. And when you would get back from patrol, all the guys would sit around and they would throw money. They'd be like, yo, I got $100 on so-and-so. And it got to the point to where at one moment, these two dudes are locked eyes, and they're just going at it. You're just throwing money, dude. Throwing money, bro.
I fucking love you, Marines. I've never not loved you fucking. Oh,
yes, dude.
You guys
that is the
worst.
sickest.
You're the worst
shit
people who've ever lived, and I love
shit ever, bro.
You.
Sickest shit ever. And the lieutenant walks in and was like, "Hey, Sergeant Mortar." Whoa! And we were all just like stopped, and like dudes got like cigars and like $100 bills in their hands. And they're like, "Oh fuck!"
Oh, what the fuck, LT? Get the fuck out of here.
And LT was just like, "I don't want to know."
Next door.
Sergeant Mortar, when you're done, I need you to come see me. And he's just like, walk on. Everyone's like, all right, keep that shit rolling.
Keep that meat, motherfucker. $20.
20 $20 is $20.
And guys were making side hustles. I used to make so much money on side hustles. Like, dude, I bet you $20 that so-and-so is going to beat so-and-so. And they'd be like, nah, man, so-and-so won 2 times in a row. There's no way he's going to beat him. And I'll never forget, I knew the kid who had the wife and kid. He had lost like 3 times in a row. And finally, he comes in. He's like, this is it. I got to win my money back. And he pulls his skivvy shorts down. He said, I'm going full blast. And he just balls hanging in the air and everything. He was like, bro, you're going to earn this money. If you're taking the money from my children, you are going to earn it. And the kid was like, it's too much. It was like, I can stay locked eyes, but to see your bare cock and balls. needless to say, he lost, and the other kid, he won all his money back, and so it was a great time. And from now on, anytime I hear coin challenge, I'm like, dude, that is not the coin challenge I think of. I never played the coin challenge. I never got challenged. I never wanted to be in the challenge. Only a handful of people got into the coin challenge gig. I was always like, fuck you. I got fire watch in 2 hours, and then I got to go on night patrol. I'm not playing this game, but I'll bet on other people.
Sure, naturally, yeah.
But I'll spend money on other fucking people.
Yeah, the fucking Marines,
great.
man.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Man,
I
Luke,
love it.
Luke, we cannot thank you enough for being here with us tonight, man. Well, thank you.
Awesome, dude. Thank you so much.
Thank you for opening up about what happened to you and telling us about your journey. We appreciate it. We hope our viewers appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
It was my pleasure, man. My pleasure.
Yeah, we got to have you back on, Luke. We definitely do. We appreciate you being here with us.
Especially with us being partnered with Old Dominion Student Veterans Association. We can't wait to have you back on.
Got to do a part 2.
Absolutely, a part 2. Thanks, brother. Yeah. We appreciate you.
Thank you guys for having me on, man. It was my pleasure.
Man, Luke's a great guy.
That was a good show, bro.
I can't wait for him to be back on.
That was a really good show.
I'm looking forward to it. So really quick, we're over our hour time, our usual time, but really quick, I want to tell you guys Thursday's episode. A friend of mine, Jeannie Hackett, she's going to be on here. She's an Air Force sergeant. She does a ton of fundraising. She's going to talk to us about dealing with military medicine after a personal injury of hers. I hope you guys tune in on Thursday night or watch it over the weekend. It's going to be a really good show.
Also, don't forget, we're not just here on Facebook. We're on Instagram and YouTube also. So make sure you go to all 3, hit the notifications. On Facebook, you can actually make this a first top priority. So you get all the notifications from everything. We cross-post on all 3 platforms. So please also share those to your pages and get the word out. We want to try to help as many veterans as we possibly can and also just have a good time while we're on here.
Yes.
So Hugh, Thursday night at 8:30.
Thursday night at 8:30, Billy, I will be here and I'll be unsquare.
Listen here, all you fuckers. You have a wonderful evening.
Take it easy, guys.